In the stillness of dawn, when the world is draped in silence, there lies a power waiting to be unleashed. Can you feel it? The moment you open your eyes, a choice awaits: to step into the day burdened by fear or to rise with unwavering courage. Psalm 27 whispers to our souls, igniting a fire that can transform our every moment. With each verse, it's like a beacon, guiding us through the chaos of life. Have you ever wondered what it means to truly trust? To be fearless in the face of adversity? Imagine standing strong against the storms, knowing that you are not alone. What if the key to facing your deepest fears lies in these ancient words? This isn't just poetry, it's a declaration of faith that can shatter the chains of doubt. As we delve deeper into this powerful prayer, picture how it can reshape your mindset, fueling your spirit to conquer the day ahead. Every line beckons you to embrace strength and hope. So, let's dive into this wellspring of divine assurance and awaken that inner warrior, ready to seize whatever comes your way. Are you ready to unlock that power? Historical context of Psalm 27. As I dive into the historical context of Psalm 27, I can't help but consider the man behind the words, King David. The psalm is often attributed to him, and understanding his life gives depth to the text. David was a complex character: shepherd, warrior, king, and poet. His life was filled with trials, from fleeing from King Saul to facing his own failures. Written during a time of personal struggle, this psalm resonates with the emotions and experiences he must have gone through. It reflects a moment of vulnerability and a strong reliance on God, which is often the case when we find ourselves in difficult situations. The circumstances surrounding the writing of Psalm 27 are crucial. Scholars suggest it may have been penned during a time of national crisis or personal peril. David speaks of enemies and adversaries, which indicates he was likely under threat. This context resonates with anyone who has faced challenges, making the psalm feel timeless. It's fascinating to think that thousands of years ago, someone was expressing feelings that many of us can relate to today. The historical backdrop not only enriches the understanding of the text, but also connects us to the collective human experience of fear, hope, and faith. As I reflect on these circumstances, I realize that they serve as a reminder of the importance of rooting our faith in history. David's struggles were not just his own. They were part of a broader narrative of God's people facing adversity. This context allows me to appreciate the psalm as more than just poetry. It's a testament to the endurance of faith amidst trials. The historical lens offers a deeper appreciation of David's relationship with God, revealing a steadfast commitment to seeking divine help when the world around him seemed chaotic. Moreover, the historical context also invites me to think about how the psalm has been received over the centuries. From the early Jewish community to modern-day believers, Psalm 27 has been a source of strength and inspiration. It's intriguing to consider how different cultures and times have interpreted these verses, each adding layers of meaning based on their experiences. This continuity of faith across generations underscores the psalm's relevance and power, making it a cornerstone of spiritual literature for many. In summary, the historical context of Psalm 27 is rich and multifaceted. It's shaped by David's life, the challenges he faced, and the enduring legacy of his words. Each time I read this psalm, I can't help but feel connected to a long line of believers who have turned to these verses for comfort and guidance. It's a reminder that, like David, we too can find refuge and strength in our relationship with God, no matter what circumstances we face. Central themes of the psalm. When I turn to the central themes of Psalm 27, I find a tapestry woven with threads of confidence, protection, and surrender to God. The very first line, "The Lord is my light and my salvation," sets the tone for a profound declaration of faith. Confidence in God's guidance is paramount. It's a reassurance that even in the darkest times, there's a beacon of hope. This theme feels particularly relevant in our fast-paced world, where uncertainty often clouds our judgment and leads to fear. Protection is another vital theme that resonates deeply with me. David speaks of the Lord as a fortress, a safe haven amidst chaos. This imagery evokes a sense of security that we all crave. In times of trouble, it's comforting to know that we have a divine protector who stands guard over our lives. The notion of God as a fortress is not just a metaphor, it reflects a relationship built on trust. It encourages me to lean into that trust, especially when I feel vulnerable or threatened. As I explore the theme of surrender, I realize it's intertwined with confidence and protection. David's willingness to submit to God's will, saying, "One thing I ask of the Lord," speaks volumes about the importance of prioritizing our spiritual lives. It challenges me to reflect on my own desires and the extent to which I'm willing to seek God's purpose over my own. Surrendering to God isn't always easy, but this psalm reminds me that it leads to peace and clarity. Moreover, the themes of confidence, protection, and surrender evoke a sense of community. When we collectively embrace these themes, we create a supportive environment where faith can flourish. Whether in a church setting or among friends, sharing these themes can encourage others to trust in God's provision. There's a power in communal faith that amplifies the individual experience, something that resonates with me as I think about my own spiritual journey. In essence, the themes of Psalm 27 capture the essence of a life lived in faith. They invite me to experience God's light, embrace His protection, and surrender my will to His. Each reading of the psalm reveals new layers of meaning, reminding me that these themes are not just abstract ideas, but practical guides for navigating life's complexities. The confidence, protection, and surrender expressed in these verses are an invitation to deepen my relationship with the divine. Importance of daily prayer. The importance of daily prayer becomes evident as I reflect on how Psalm 27 can serve as a powerful prayer for each morning. Just imagine starting the day with such a profound declaration of faith. Incorporating these verses into my morning routine not only sets a spiritual tone, but also anchors me in God's presence. It's a way to invite divine guidance and protection right from the moment I wake up, ensuring that I'm grounded before facing the day's challenges. In my own experience, the act of reciting or reflecting on Psalm 27 in the morning has a calming effect. It allows me to center my thoughts and align my heart with God's purpose. I've noticed that when I prioritize this time, my perspective shifts. Rather than being overwhelmed by the tasks ahead, I approach my day with a sense of peace and assurance. This practice transforms the mundane into something sacred, reminding me that I am not alone in my endeavors. Moreover, daily prayer using Psalm 27 serves as a reminder of God's faithfulness. As I meditate on the themes of the psalm, light, salvation, and protection, I'm reassured of His unwavering presence. It's easy to forget this amid the busyness of life, but returning to these words reinvigorates my faith. I find comfort in knowing that God is my fortress, and that understanding empowers me to face uncertainties with confidence. Another aspect of daily prayer is its power to cultivate gratitude. When I reflect on the blessings in my life while praying through Psalm 27, I'm reminded of the many ways God has shown up for me. This practice shifts my focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a heart of thankfulness. Gratitude changes the way I view my circumstances, encouraging me to trust that God is working for my good, even when it's hard to see. In essence, incorporating Psalm 27 into my daily prayer life has profound implications. It shapes my mindset, deepens my faith, and fosters a sense of gratitude. The importance of daily prayer cannot be overstated. It's the lifeline that connects me to God and provides strength for the journey ahead. This practice invites me to engage with the psalm, not just as a text, but as a living prayer that resonates in my heart and guides my steps. Literary structure of the psalm. As I delve into the literary structure of Psalm 27, I'm struck by its poetic beauty and the effectiveness of its imagery. The psalm is crafted with intentionality, each verse contributing to a larger narrative that unfolds seamlessly. The parallelism found in Hebrew poetry, where thoughts are mirrored or contrasted, gives rhythm and depth to the text. This structure not only enhances the reading experience, but also emphasizes the key themes, making them more memorable. The use of vivid imagery in Psalm 27 is particularly compelling. Phrases like, "The Lord is my light," and "He will hide me in his shelter," create mental pictures that evoke feelings of safety and warmth. These images resonate with our innate desires for protection and guidance. As I visualize these scenes, I find myself drawn into David's experience, feeling the weight of his words and the comfort they provide. The imagery serves as a powerful reminder of God's presence in our lives. In addition, the alternating tones throughout the psalm reflect the emotional journey David undergoes. There are moments of fear and uncertainty, juxtaposed with declarations of faith and assurance. This structure mirrors the human experience, how we often oscillate between doubt and trust. Recognizing this pattern in the psalm allows me to relate to David on a personal level. It encourages me to embrace my own emotional fluctuations while remaining anchored in faith. Moreover, the repetition of certain phrases and ideas reinforces the psalm's core messages. For instance, the refrain of seeking God's presence creates a sense of urgency and longing. It reminds me that pursuing a relationship with the divine is not a passive endeavor. It requires intentionality and commitment. The structure of the psalm invites me to reflect on my own spiritual pursuits, challenging me to prioritize my connection with God. Ultimately, the literary structure of Psalm 27 enriches my understanding and experience of the text. It serves as a reminder that the way something is written can profoundly impact its message. The poetic elements, vivid imagery, and emotional resonance all work together to create a powerful expression of faith. Each time I engage with this psalm, I find myself appreciating its intricacies, allowing it to speak to my spirit in new and transformative ways. Trusting God in difficult times. Reflecting on the theme of trusting God in difficult times, I realize how crucial this message is for our everyday lives. Psalm 27 serves as a beacon of hope for anyone facing adversity. David's unwavering faith in God, despite the challenges he encountered, is a powerful example for me. It teaches that trust is not merely a feeling, it's a choice we make, particularly when the storms of life seem overwhelming. In moments of struggle, I deepen the light and salvation. When I first read the lines about light and salvation in Psalm 27, it struck me how these metaphors resonate deeply with our human experience. Light, in a literal sense, is essential for life. It brings clarity, warmth, and guidance. When I reflect on my own life, I realize how often I've found myself in dark places, moments of doubt, confusion, and despair. Yet the idea that God is our light provides an incredible sense of comfort. It reminds me that no matter how dim the circumstances may seem, there is always a divine spark waiting to illuminate the path ahead. The concept of salvation ties closely with light. It signifies deliverance and safety. In my personal journey, I've faced numerous challenges that felt insurmountable. The moments when I cried out for help, I often felt an overwhelming sense of reassurance wash over me. It's as if the very act of seeking light and salvation transformed my perspective. I began to understand that salvation isn't merely a distant hope. It's an immediate reality that can manifest in our daily lives. Each time I chose to lean into faith, I found a little more light breaking through the clouds of my worries. Moreover, the juxtaposition of light and darkness is a powerful theme in many spiritual texts. It's a reminder that while darkness may exist, it does not have the final word. In my own experience, there were times when I felt surrounded by shadows, moments of anxiety or grief. Yet, recalling the promise of light and salvation inspired me to push through. It encouraged me to seek out those flickers of hope, whether through prayer, community support, or simply taking a moment to breathe and reflect. Each of these actions became a step toward reclaiming my sense of peace. As I delve deeper into the metaphor of light, I realize it also represents knowledge and understanding. In many ways, my quest for truth has often felt like a journey through darkness. The more I sought knowledge, whether through study, conversation, or introspection, the more I felt the warmth of light enveloping me. Psalm 27's promise of God as my light reassures me that I am never alone in my pursuit of understanding. This realization has become a guiding principle in my life, encouraging me to remain curious and open-minded, especially during challenging times. In essence, the metaphors of light and salvation in Psalm 27 serve as a profound reminder of hope and resilience. They urge me to embrace that light, to seek it actively, and to trust in the divine promise of salvation. Each day presents an opportunity to reflect on the light I carry within and the ways in which I can be a beacon for others. In doing so, I not only honor my journey, but also contribute to a larger narrative of faith and community. Chapter 9: The Search for God's Presence. The quest for God's presence is a theme that resonates deeply with me. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it can be all too easy to lose sight of the divine. I often find myself caught up in the routine, work, responsibilities, distractions, only to realize that I've neglected the very source of my strength. Psalm 27 emphasizes the importance of seeking God's presence, and it serves as a gentle reminder to pause and reconnect. In my own experience, moments of stillness are where I often encounter God most profoundly. It's in those quiet times, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply being present in nature, that I feel a sense of divine connection. The act of intentionally seeking God's presence transforms my perspective. It shifts my focus away from my worries and toward the bigger picture. I've learned that even in chaos, I can carve out space for God, allowing divine presence to infuse my daily activities. Additionally, the search for God's presence isn't always about grand gestures or elaborate rituals. Sometimes it's found in the mundane moments of life. I remember a day when I felt overwhelmed by deadlines and responsibilities. Instead of succumbing to stress, I took a moment to step outside. The warmth of the sun on my face, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, it all reminded me of God's omnipresence. Those simple experiences became sacred moments, reinforcing the idea that God is always close, waiting to be acknowledged. Seeking God's presence also plays a crucial role in building community. When I share this journey with others, whether through fellowship, worship, or simply engaging in meaningful conversations, I feel a collective connection to something greater. There's an undeniable energy that comes from being part of a community that seeks the divine together. It encourages me to stay grounded in my faith and reminds me that I'm not alone in my search. Ultimately, the importance of seeking God's presence cannot be overstated. It's a daily commitment to remain aware and open to the divine. Each encounter, whether significant or subtle, adds layers to my understanding of faith. As I continue on this journey, I'm learning that the search for God is not just about finding answers. It's about embracing the process and allowing divine presence to shape my life in unexpected and beautiful ways. Courage in the face of fear. Fear is an inevitable part of the human experience. I've faced my fair share of fears, whether they're rooted in uncertainty about the future, personal insecurities, or the challenges of navigating relationships. Psalm 27's message about courage in the face of fear has been a source of strength for me. It teaches that fear doesn't have to paralyze us. Instead, it can be a catalyst for growth and resilience. One of the most profound lessons I've learned from this psalm is that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act despite it. I recall a time when I was presented with an opportunity that terrified me. The thought of stepping outside my comfort zone felt overwhelming. Yet, as I reflected on the teachings of Psalm 27, I realized that embracing courage meant confronting my fears head-on. With each step I took, I felt a sense of empowerment, reinforcing the belief that I am capable of overcoming obstacles with God's guidance. Moreover, the psalm emphasizes that we are not alone in our struggles. Recognizing that God is with us during our most fearful moments provides an immense sense of relief. There have been instances when I felt utterly alone in my fears, but recalling the assurance of God's presence helped me gather the strength to face them. It's a reminder that I don't have to rely solely on my own abilities. I can lean into my faith and trust that divine support is always available. The practice of facing fears also aligns with personal growth. Each time I confront something that scares me, I emerge with newfound confidence and insight. It's as if I'm shedding layers of self-doubt and stepping into a more authentic version of myself. Psalm 27 serves as a guiding light during these transformative moments, encouraging me to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth and to trust in the process. Additionally, courage in the face of fear fosters resilience. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and while it's natural to feel fear, it's essential to remember that we have the capacity to endure. I've learned that facing fears not only strengthens my own resolve, but also inspires others to do the same. When I share my experiences of overcoming challenges, it creates a ripple effect, encouraging those around me to confront their own fears with courage and faith. Chapter 7: The Community of Faith. The role of community in faith cannot be overstated. Psalm 27 highlights the importance of coming together in worship and support, reminding us that we are stronger in numbers. In my own life, I've experienced the transformative power of community firsthand. Whether through a small group, a church service, or even just gathering with friends for a time of prayer, the sense of belonging has enriched my faith journey immensely. One of the most beautiful aspects of a faith community is the diversity of experiences and perspectives it offers. Each person brings their unique story, struggles and insights, creating a tapestry of shared faith. I remember attending a church event where individuals shared their testimonies. Hearing their stories of triumph over adversity inspired me deeply. It reminded me that we are all on a journey, and that journey is often intertwined with the journeys of others. Moreover, the communal aspect of faith fosters accountability. When I commit to a regular gathering or study group, I find that it encourages me to engage more deeply with my faith. There's something about being surrounded by others who share a common purpose that motivates me to stay grounded in my beliefs. It becomes a source of encouragement, pushing me to explore my faith more deeply and to hold myself accountable in my spiritual growth. The power of worship in community is another vital aspect that resonates with me. There's an unmatched energy that fills the air when we come together to sing, pray, and reflect collectively. It's a reminder that we are part of something larger than ourselves. In those moments, I often feel a profound connection to the divine and to my fellow worshippers. It's a sacred space where we can lay down our burdens and lift each other up, reinforcing the notion that we are not alone in our struggles. Ultimately, the community of faith is about mutual support and encouragement. We are called to walk alongside one another, celebrating victories and offering comfort in times of distress. Psalm 27 serves as a reminder that we are part of a larger family, united in our pursuit of God. In this journey, I've come to appreciate the importance of fostering connections with others, recognizing that our shared faith can inspire resilience, hope, and growth in ways that we may never fully comprehend. Standing firm in faith. Standing firm in faith can feel like a daunting task, especially in a world filled with uncertainties and challenges. Yet Psalm 27 inspires a sense of unwavering conviction that resonates deeply within me. It reminds me that faith is not merely a feeling, it's a choice, a commitment to trust in God's promises, even when circumstances seem bleak. In my own journey, I am untamed, reflections on the heart and mind. You know, when I take a moment to think about the relationship between our emotions and our thoughts, I can't help but see how they intertwine so intricately with our trust in God. It's like a dance where one leads and the other follows. Often, when my heart feels heavy with worry or doubt, it's easy to let my mind spiral into a state of chaos. But then I remember the words from Psalm 27, which remind me that trusting God can bring a sense of peace that quiets both my heart and my mind. It's a reassuring thought that, no matter the storm raging inside, there is a refuge in faith. Sometimes I find myself feeling overwhelmed, almost as if the weight of the world is resting squarely on my shoulders. In those moments, I reflect on the importance of aligning my emotions with the truth of God's promises. Rather than letting fear dictate my thoughts, I choose to meditate on the assurance that I am never alone. Psalm 27 teaches me that even when my heart races and my mind buzzes with anxiety, I can anchor myself in the belief that God is my light and salvation. This perspective shift is crucial. It allows me to reclaim my mental space and focus on what truly matters. I also think about how our emotions can sometimes cloud our judgment. When we get caught up in negative feelings, it's easy to forget the bigger picture. That's when I find it useful to turn back to Psalm 27, which serves as a gentle reminder to trust in God's plan. It's like wiping a foggy window clean. I can finally see the light coming through. By focusing on God and what He has done, I can elevate my thoughts above the emotional turmoil. It's an ongoing practice, but it's worth every bit of effort. Furthermore, I've learned that the connection between the heart and mind isn't just about individual experiences, it's also about our interactions with others. When I'm filled with trust in God, it radiates outward, affecting how I treat those around me. I become more patient, more understanding, and more compassionate. Psalm 27 encourages me to reflect that same grace and love that God shows me, fostering a sense of community and connection with others. It's amazing how trusting God can transform not just my inner world, but also my relationships with those I cherish. Ultimately, the journey of reconciling my heart and mind with faith is one filled with ups and downs. There are days when it feels easier than others, but the guiding light of Psalm 27 remains a constant in my life. It reminds me that trusting God is not a one-time decision, but a daily commitment. Each moment I choose to align my thoughts with my faith, I find a deeper sense of peace and clarity, which reinforces my trust in Him. The importance of worship. Worship is such a powerful act, isn't it? There's something truly transformative about lifting my voice in praise, whether alone or with a community. When I engage in worship, I feel an immediate connection to something greater than myself. Psalm 27 emphasizes the importance of adoration and how it can strengthen our spirits. In those moments of worship, I find clarity and purpose, reminding me of God's goodness and mercy. There's a sense of renewal that washes over me when I worship. It's almost like a reset button for my soul. When life gets hectic and I feel burdened by stress or negativity, taking time to worship allows me to release those feelings. I can pour out my heart to God, expressing gratitude for the blessings in my life. This act of gratitude not only elevates my spirit, but also reinforces my trust in His plans. It's a reminder that despite the chaos around me, there's a divine order that I can lean into. Moreover, worship is communal. It brings people together. I love when my friends and family gather for a time of worship, whether it's a church service or a simple evening at home. There's something special about raising our voices together, creating a collective energy that's palpable. Psalm 27 reminds us of the importance of seeking God in community. There's strength in numbers, and worshiping together builds fellowship and unity. It creates bonds that transcend the ordinary, connecting us through shared faith experiences. In addition, I find that the act of worship often serves as a catalyst for personal reflection. When I'm singing praises or engaging in heartfelt prayer, I'm prompted to examine my life and my heart. What's weighing me down? What fears am I holding on to? Psalm 27 encourages us to bring those burdens before God. Worship becomes a safe space for me to lay it all down, allowing for both vulnerability and healing. It's a powerful reminder that I don't have to carry my struggles alone. Finally, I believe worship is not just about the big moments. It's also about the small, everyday acts of reverence and gratitude. Whether it's a simple prayer of thanks before a meal or a quiet moment of reflection during my morning routine, these seemingly mundane acts of worship can have a profound impact on my day. Psalm 27 teaches me that worship is woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It's a continuous thread that ties us back to God, reminding us to remain in His presence throughout all the ups and downs. Intercession and prayer. When I think about intercession, I can't help but appreciate the power of praying for others. It's a beautiful act of love and selflessness that often goes unnoticed. Psalm 27 can serve as a model for this kind of prayer, guiding us in how to lift others up before God. It reminds me that while I may have my own struggles, there are countless people around me who are fighting their own battles. Interceding for them allows me to stand in the gap, asking God to intervene in their situations. There's something profound about shifting the focus from my own needs to those of others. It opens my eyes to the challenges faced by friends, family, or even strangers in my community. When I pray for someone else, I feel a sense of connection that transcends my own circumstances. Psalm 27 encourages me to be mindful of the needs of others, reminding me that we are all part of a larger tapestry woven together by God's love. Each prayer becomes a thread, contributing to the overall beauty of that tapestry. Intercessory prayer also fosters a spirit of empathy. When I take the time to understand what someone else is going through, I can better articulate my prayers for them. Psalm 27 inspires me to approach prayer with intention, allowing me to connect with the heart of those I'm praying for. I find that it's not just about asking God for solutions. It's about seeking His will for their lives and trusting that He knows what's best. That shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful. Moreover, I've experienced firsthand how interceding for others can bring about transformation, not only in their lives, but also in my own. When I pray for someone's healing, breakthrough, or comfort, I often find that my heart softens in the process. It humbles me and reminds me of my own dependence on God. Psalm 27 teaches us about the importance of relying on Him for strength and wisdom, and that's exactly what happens when I step into the role of an intercessor. It becomes a mutual exchange of grace. Lastly, intercessory prayer can create a ripple effect within our communities. When we lift others up, we inspire them to do the same. It fosters a culture of kindness and support, something that the world desperately needs. I've seen how one simple prayer can lead to a wave of encouragement and hope. Psalm 27 emphasizes the significance of community in our faith journeys, and interceding for one another strengthens that bond. It's a beautiful reminder that we are all in this together and our prayers can make a difference. Tout, personal transformation through prayer. Incorporating Psalm 27 into my daily routine has been a game changer for me. I can honestly say that it has transformed my life in ways I never expected. Each time I meditate on its verses or recite it in prayer, I feel a shift within me. It's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, I'm filled with a sense of purpose and clarity. The words resonate deeply, reminding me to trust in God's goodness, no matter what challenges I face. One of the most significant changes I've noticed is how my perspective on problems has evolved. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, I've learned to approach them with a mindset rooted in faith. Psalm 27 encourages me to see beyond the immediate struggle and focus on the assurance that God is with me. This shift has allowed me to tackle issues with a sense of calm and confidence. I find myself asking, what can I learn from this, rather than spiraling into despair? Additionally, I've found that the act of prayer, particularly with Psalm 27 as a guide, has deepened my relationship with God. I've come to realize that prayer is not just about making requests, but about cultivating intimacy with the divine. Each time I pray, I'm reminded of God's faithfulness and love, which strengthens my trust in Him. This deeper connection has become a source of strength, providing me with the resilience to face life's uncertainties. Moreover, I've begun to see tangible changes in my relationships with others. When I internalize the teachings of Psalm 27, I find myself more compassionate and understanding. I'm more willing to listen and support those around me, fostering a sense of community that feels both enriching and fulfilling. It's as if the act of praying and reflecting on these verses prompts me to embody the love and grace that I receive from God, creating a ripple effect in my interactions. Finally, the personal transformation I've experienced through prayer is ongoing. I've learned that it's a journey, not a destination. Oh.